Welcome back, friends, to America's premium cricket show, Cricket on Air, brought to you by Neo Cricket. The game of cricket has grown tremendously over the years. From a game that seemed to be only followed by intellectuals, it has now become an absolute phenomenon that is followed, loved, argued and debated all over the world. And one of the main drivers behind this growth has been television, satellite TV to cricket and cricket-based programs to all corners of the world. It'll be interesting to know how the cricket channels work and operate. And to give us just this information, we have a special guest with us today, the president of Neo Cricket America, S. Venkatasubramanian. As some of you might be aware of, Neo Cricket, India's first 24/7 cricket TV channel, is now available in the US on Comcast, Cablevision and Dish networks. And Venkat has been spearheading Neo Cricket's efforts in America ever since it started operations here. Venkat, thank you so much for being on Cricket on Air.
Not at all, entirely my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So Venkat, let me just get straight in. Neo Cricket is bringing the IPL live to the American audiences. Could you really tell us about what the exact offerings are?
IPL, among other things, Sri, I think is a fair way of putting it. In the United States, what we're showing is a select set of 35 teams is going live on the channel. As you are aware, the cost of the IPL is quite substantial. It's almost like $60 million,
Wow.
which Nimbus and Times of India Group bought in consortium.
Okay.
We, depending upon what our business plan could support and our desire to show good quality live content, we determined that 35 games would suit that purpose.
Okay.
More importantly, given the fact that there are 10 teams this year, unlike 8 in the previous edition, we are able to show 7 games of each team live on the channel. So it's actually a pretty balanced approach to providing live cricket to cricket lovers in this country.
I also wanted to get a sense of, how did Neo Cricket really start thinking about starting their cricket channel in the US? I know you've been in India for quite a while. I know Neo Cricket is India's #1 and the first 24/7 cricket channel. So how did the thought of actually launching it in the US also come about?
It's actually a very, very interesting story. What happened was the company, the parent company of all of this is a company called Nimbus Communications,
Right.
which has been in the business of cricket for almost a quarter of a century. Initially, they got the rights in 2006, and they decided rather than just trading the rights or giving it over to some other network to exploit, they decided they would take the next logical step, which is to build a linear channel. That
Right.
way you control the product entirely. And we had a very, very short period of time.
Right.
So rather than make a hash of it and launch the channel in the United States, at that time the decision was made just to license the live games out to various parties in different territories. And in the United States, I think there was a company that picked up the rights for 4 years.
Okay.
So Neo Cricket originally started in 2007 in India.
Right.
It has completed 4 full years of operation. And in this period, in the past 4 years, they've been busy getting the channel distributed across the whole of Asia. It's available now in the whole of the Middle East
Okay.
and the whole of Southeast Asia.
Okay.
And when the time came for us to renew the rights, in
Right.
December of 2009, actually, we renewed the rights with the BCCI for a further period of time. And at that time, they decided that now that we have a fully fledged product and that too a #1 channel,
Right.
it is better to continue with the same strategy.
Time for a short break now. When we come back, we'll talk to Venkat about how sellable is the IPL in the United States. Stay tuned.